The compensation is monumental. It is insane. It is only for the 9 players affected, but they are getting a full refund on every single summon after the 200th summon that this player went without a guaranteed legendary hero, and then a little diamond capper. And I am submitting this video directly to Moonton because I think there's suggestions I'm going to make and that viewers have made in the comments that they need to take seriously, and opinions about the state of the game that they need to hear immediately. Please watch the whole video, devs, and please read through all of these comments. This is legitness. This is not just people saying, wah, wah, I want free stuff. There might be a couple people, I'll be honest, that are saying, wah, wah, I want free stuff. But a lot of people are saying, like, wah, wah, but a legitimate wah, wah, I want to keep playing the game and you're making it really hard. How the heck are you guys? I am Fastidious. Welcome to my channel. Getting right into it, there was a major bug with ancient summons, summoning ancient shards on the special ancient summoning banner that occurred this weekend that I have been pretty darn on top of and reporting on from the get. Some of you that only follow me on YouTube may be wondering, what am I talking about? I did make a couple announcements on YouTube, but on Discord, I've been giving regular updates as I've gotten more and more and more information. I even set up this poll that we're going to talk about, and it's all regarding this crazy bug, very bad bug, but I will say a bug that acutely affects a very small percentage of the player base in terms of the actual consequence of this specific bug. So in some ways, it's not the biggest problem in the world. However, the grander issue that we have yet another bug undermining the maybe most important core mechanic in this game, how RNG is working, is affecting everyone. The fact that this is still happening is very, very negative, and we do need to talk about it. Part of the way Moonton handled this was exceptional, I think. It was very quick. It was very direct. There wasn't any gray area. But part of it, I think, was terrible, and it really was. So I want to get into all of that. We're going to do a very quick summation of what the bug was and what the situation has been over the past 3 days. I'll tell you, the reason I haven't made a video is I told them when we get really big bugs like this, I started with the last one with the crazy scripted summons. I said I want to communicate with them behind the scenes first before posting a video to make sure that I appropriately report it and get them on the same page before doing blasphemous kind of pointing of the finger, even when they really deserve it. Trying to be slightly more respectful here in the holiday season. So yeah, we're going to do a summary of the events. Then we are going to talk about what it kind of means and how you guys feel. So you can see I made a poll. I've been holding off on making this video for a few hours because I really was waiting for the poll to get to 1,000 votes. Unfortunately, we're not there yet. We're now up to 964. I thought 1,000 would be a nice round number, and I am submitting this video directly to Moonton because I think there's suggestions I'm going to make and that viewers have made in the comments that they need to take seriously, and opinions about the state of the game that they need to hear immediately. So I'm submitting this video directly. I thought if I said, hey, look, there's 1,000 votes, 131 comments, it would resonate extra. But you can't argue with 964 votes on a random YouTube poll. That is shows this is an issue that people are very engaged with, and that means a lot to people. So no hex intro, no nothing. Let's talk about what's going on. So we got this big apology. They talk about the compensation. The compensation is monumental. It is insane. It is only for the 9 players affected, but they are getting a full refund. This is courtesy of CLG Raven. This is something Pink Jesus sent to me. Full refund on every single summon after the 200th summon that this player went without a guaranteed legendary hero, and then a little diamond capper. So he did many, or he or she or they did many summons past 200. 124 ancients as compensation. This is beyond fair. We'll get back to it in a second, but holy guacamole. However, a summary of what the actual issue was, because so many people, and I get it, it's yet another bug, another problem in the game, another issue with the RNG. RNG completely is intertwined and goes hand in hand with any game in the gacha genre. So a lot of people are really angry and they want compensation and they want to feel like, oh, it hurt me too. This was such a specific problem. It only hit, by their count, 9 commanders. A lot of people are doubting this. I'm going to explain what the bug was and why I think it's completely possible it's 9. When Moonton originally DM'd me, you can see I made an announcement over here. They told me it was 10. Maybe they went back and found it was actually only 9. Essentially what the bug was So this is the explanation of the bug. Pay attention, please, before getting your pitchforks and your flames out and all that stuff. If you were over 185 summons on Ancient Summoning specifically since your last Legendary Lord pulled, when they did the update that changed pity from 200 as when your pity kicks in on Ancient Summons to 185. So if you were in this no man's land of 186 to 191 before that pity would have kicked in, and then while you existed in that no man's land in your summoning record, that's when they did the patch like 3 weeks ago that lowered the pity, making it easier for people to hit pity and get their guaranteed legendaries and legendary lords depending on the banner. If that was you, and then you pulled past 200 on this banner, you were not hitting a guaranteed legendary. Your pity either got stalled or fully reset. You could still hit legendary lords. So the pity for Ancient Summoning is specifically for legendary lords. It's not to say you weren't going to ever get a legendary lord, but you weren't hitting the guarantee that you should get. With the new pity system, it should come at 200. Previously, it should come at 220. As you can see with CLG Raven, he went all the way to 324 because they compensated all these affected players for every single ancient past 200. So like, let's give you an example because I'm saying a lot of numbers and words at you. If you were someone who, when the last patch happened, since your last legendary lord on your Ancient Summoning banners had pulled 188 ancient summons, you would be in that no man's land. So then after the update, which lowered that soft pity from when pity kicks in at 200 with a guarantee at 220, then they lowered it to 185 with a guarantee at 200. You were caught in between and it bugged out. And it was a big bug, big, terrible glitch. So what happened was you're at 188. You should be getting guaranteed now at 200 after the update. And you should be probably even hitting sooner than that. But instead, it either got a full reset or an even worse, like perpetual stall that you couldn't hit that guaranteed rate. So you'd pull and pull and pull well past 200, past 220, the old hard pity. That was the old 100% guarantee. And in cases of people like CLG Raven, all the way to 324. So the people that got affected, you can see it's a very niche specific situation, a terrible situation, but a very specific one. They found 9 commanders. And after the fix, they said they've now tested it and it's working as intended. And those guys got crazy compensation. So it's not like he has to give back all the heroes, the many rare heroes that will end up being hundreds, if not that many thousands of diamonds from the 124 extra ancient summons. He's keeping those. He's keeping any epics he got, any epic lords, and then any legendaries he got along the way. Plus getting 124 ancient summons back. So crazy compensation, very targeted, very directly at the people immediately affected. They apologize, something that they're having to do a lot lately, something we don't see in the genre, so that's nice. They sincerely apologize. They acknowledge that it was brought to their attention and they identified it. Shout out to Haha, who this happened to, and he posted a video. I also want to say personally thank you to Deegs. He's the first person who made me aware of this before I even saw it popping up I got many DMs, but then I saw it popping up all over the official Discord and my Discord. So I knew as of like 11 a.m. on Saturday. So that was really good. That's how I was able to get on top of these announcements and how I've been in contact with Moonton since noon Saturday at like Central European time because I'm still in Germany. So you can see they refund the full ancient summoning crystals to those that use beyond 200 summoning to those 9 commanders, so on and so on and so on. That's the solution. They give a very straightforward, sincere apology. And then the next thing is like, hey guys, do you want to summon for new heroes? And hey guys, you want to spend money on Christmas? And hey guys, do you want to summon on another limited hero? And I hate this tone. And it's not Batista's fault. I'm not going to shoot the messenger. But this is such an F up. And they're like, well, it only affected 9 people. Well, actually, like, yes and no. It only affected 9 people because we, the players, we, the content creators, people like Haha, who just is reporting crazy stuff happening in the game as well, like, we take it upon ourselves now to do the quality control for this game. Moonton is not on top of it. The game is an unstable, questionable environment where it seems like if us, the players, us, the content creators, so on, are not identifying this, are not making a lot of noise, if people like me are not directly begging them to address stuff over the weekend with like the formal bug reports I'm making, it seems like things aren't happening or aren't happening quickly, or I don't even know. Who's to say there aren't many, many other problems that we haven't identified yet? I haven't seen any times where they go, hey guys, we found this bug and we fixed it without us having been the ones to bring it to their attention. The onus is falling upon us. And because there's so much obscurity in this game with what is going on, we're just trusting them and taking their word that they're doing all the stuff that we've had to do lately behind the scenes. I really have to question that right now. It's hard to feel confident in the state of things when it comes to the integrity of the game and its internal systems and how it's coded and so on and so on. So you can see I made this poll here. I included a link to Moonton's official statement and what their solution was, everything I just broke down for you guys, link to my Discord. And as you see, I was not posting constantly about this. Besides a couple announcements on YouTube, I was on my Discord. So if you want to join us, the Fast and Fastidious, we have almost 6,000 members now. We're like 56 or 5,700 members. It's the biggest non-Moonton official Discord in the whole realm. So definitely come join us. It's pretty great, and I really try to stay on top of things and keep everyone in the loop. You can see here, I made a poll. I said, are you happy with this solution and how it was handled? Please elaborate in the comments. 964 votes. And I guess good news to Moonton, 1/3 of people are happy, totally happy. No, not wishy-washy. They said yes, 33%. 29% are on the fence, kinda. And I did ask people to elaborate in the comments. We have 131 comments. A couple of these are my replies, but you can see the most of them are just fresh comments from you guys, the viewers. So probably like 120 plus viewers and players chimed in. So these people are on the fence. Maybe they were the ones that elaborated. Of course, the yeses and the nos could elaborate as well. But the thing Moonton should be really concerned about is, yes, not a majority of players, but a strict plurality of players, 37% of players are unhappy with the solution. Some people, I think, are unhappy for a slightly wrong reason. They're like, we should get a big comp for this. I think everyone likes getting free stuff. I will tell you right off the bat, we should have gotten some universal comp from this. I'll get into specifics in one moment, but to think we should get anything like this is insane. People making comments about an ancient Lord Selector ticket is lunacy. It's a fun comment. I liked reading that stuff, but it's not real. But the idea that they act like this only affected 9 people, tough titties, it's so wrong and so tone deaf. If anything, the people or the group it affected most is Moonton, because they have eroded a ton of our trust, and it's just another negative weekend of stuff. This time, not even me being the one posting about it, because I was trying to be respectful and let them address this properly. Of course, they know today I am addressing it. I have to. How could we not? So let's go through some of these comments and kind of take the temperature. Like I said, people asking for insane comp, you're wrong. In my opinion, people saying there's no way it's 9 people. There's a lot of this. I really do think you're wrong. Maybe it's not 9, but if you think hundreds of people are affected, I think that the case that I described and what we know it to be as of now, of course, it could be more. It's so specific. This was a terrible weekend to summon, an awful weekend to summon. I mean, look right above my head. Ancient Summoning Bait banner. No, I was not the only content creator to do this. This is not a banner people were excited about. If this was an Ingrid Ardia banner or a Praetus banner, then this would have affected hundreds, if not thousands of people, right? This was a terrible banner at a terrible time. So not that many people were summoning enough and were caught in that very specific no man's land to be affected by this. So I hope we all understand that now. The key thing Moonton needs to understand, and that's going to come out in these comments, is the idea that they didn't screw everybody with how badly this plays and how badly, again, it shows a moment of them not being in control of the game and the onus falling upon the player base and them putting out a product that we're losing confidence in. That is so important. And I hope that's part of why I want to read this video. So the next 4 minutes or 5 minutes, whatever, let's just quickly point out some key comments. Let's sort by, I think I already did. We're sorted by the top comments. So there's no way, total of 9 people. Like I said, there's definitely a way. Divine Summon script issue being so buggy, they're going to lose the trust. This is the key point. So I do think you're wrong. There is definitely a way it could be 9 people. However, the actual issue, the bug, was on everyone's game. There could be so many more bugs we don't know about, right? It's only what we test and what we have evidence of. I don't go pointing the finger unless I have a lot of evidence, right? I'll speculate in videos if I think it's going to help us drum up research, but we're finding thing after thing after thing now. So the key thing that Sith Lord says here is, it's been so buggy the last month, and it's more than a month. They're going to continue to lose the trust, Moonton, that is. They're going to keep losing the player base's trust. I think that is spot on. Here's another one very well said from Webmate. I believe this is David, if it's the player I think it is. No, my issue is the erosion of trust. The economy of the entire game is based on the premise of random luck. Putting summons aside, as hopefully that's close to being resolved, what about the other things? Everything in this game is RNG, even down to where your skill ups land or what you get in the artifact forge, when you get certain materials, when you get ancients, when you get gear forging, this, that, and the other. Everything in this game comes with some random probability that they do not make transparent. I've been begging them for transparency both in my videos when I got started and behind the scenes nonstop for well over a year, dating back to like the beginning of October 2023. It's one thing, they've said this to me explicitly. I say, give us the exact drop rate of every hero. Don't act like Calypso is as common as Virna, right? Do not act that Hotsit is as common as Cratch. Anecdotally, and then through enormous studies where I accounted for literally millions of summons, you guys can go back and see it. The data is still there. Those videos are still up. We've proven that we have buckets for the rarities of heroes within the same general rarity. So in your legendary rarity group, there's a rare bucket, a common bucket, a super rare bucket for Hotsit, so on and so on. Even within your legendary lords, Torador is more common than Leia, for example. This is just facts that we eventually learned from the game file, but we proved definitively over and over through very extensive studies I did. So I asked them, why not, like Exos Heroes does this, right? Eternal Evolution did this. I haven't played that many games, but a lot of gachas, because of local laws or because of moral decisions, choose to directly disclose each hero's specific rate. So instead of saying, they'll say the group rate is 6%, but this hero is 0.003%, and this hero is 0.007%, and so on and so on. Why not do that? They say it undermines their business model, and they don't have to do that. Well, I would counter saying, sure, we could buy that. I did buy that for a while if we could have full confidence that everything else in their systems was working perfectly, and we cannot have that confidence right now. They need to earn our confidence back. So they can't choose to not be transparent, but then have all these bugs pouring out. If the thing was a well-operated machine, I'd still be frustrated, but I could kind of throw my hands up and say, all right, I guess you don't want to be transparent. That's your choice. But not being transparent, and then every time we have a moment of research or evidence or this and this, showing that behind that obscurity and lack of transparency is a lot of effed up, broken stuff. It's very, very concerning. This is the most important part of the game, and they need to get on top of it. Hear from Special K, a very big player in the game and a former very good content creator in the game. Why are they making the CCs and player base do their quality control? I'll give that a thumbs up. If you need us to test this stuff, you can tell us, but then do it in a formal way and maybe like hire a couple players and compensate them with real money to actually do it. Because time and time again, this bugginess is coming forward. We've got James West. I have nothing nice to say. There's zero trust left for this company. I have some nice things to say. I've said it in this video, but some people don't have anything nice to say, Moonton. I really, really hope you're watching and review all these comments. It takes a whole lot of work on their end to not mess up anymore, rebuild trust, and compensate the players. You really need to. So I said I would talk about universal compensation. The fact that they didn't give players anything, and I know some people will like laugh and guffaw, but not even with this apology, give the full comp like with the crazy thing we saw for CLG Raven, but at least not even give 100 diamonds to all the unaffected players, to me is very tone deaf. And I know people are like, oh, it's just 100 diamonds again. What a meme. At least that would say, hey, we know you were all touched by this. Even though you weren't directly this time and your summons hurt, it didn't affect your gaming experience. The fact that such a big bug was going on sincerely did affect your gaming system. We know you're losing our trust. We see you. If I was them, I'd send everyone 5 ancient summons. I did a lot of thinking about it. I was like, what's the best thing? 5 ancient summons is like conservatively, if you get good deals, it's like $20 worth of rewards. It's not much. It's not like it's going to lose them $20 per player. That's not how it will act out of the game. I think it would send a great message to the player base saying, hey, we see you. This time it only affected a specific group, but we know this is a huge F up and we're not hiding from it. We want to regain your trust yet again. This is a gift to show you, or a reward or a compensation for the erosion of your trust. That's what I think they should have done. The word apology is nice, but obviously for some players, as you're seeing these comments, it is not enough, right? So seriously, all trust is gone. We need radical transparency. So he's talking about what I was talking about. You're undermining our trust, so now we can't say, oh, well, they can't give us all the rates. Tell us what the chance for a soulstone is from a guild boss chest drop, right? Tell us these things, or at least that's how a lot of people feel. You need to be fully transparent if we're seeing all these other issues popping up. You can't have it both ways. You can't have things completely muddied and hidden, and then also completely broken. And that completely broken is an exaggeration. So if you're watching Moonton devs, I'm not trying to be so hyperbolic, but I am trying to very, I think, sincerely and accurately articulate the concerns of a clearly significant portion of your player base. 37% out of nearly 1,000 votes. So this is over 300 people, right? People are split, and no one is thrilled, you know? People, let's try to find something positive. Let's see. Where did we leave off? While the explanation and apology are nice, so that's positive, and I agree. I think they acted very quickly, too. They fixed this yesterday. They fixed it within like 36 hours. Pretty good, and it did happen at a time when not many people were here. He's saying they need to go the distance to regain people's trust, and I totally agree. They need to go above and beyond, and I agree, especially with the holiday season. You can make it like a Christmassy thing if you want, tie something in, but you need to make people feel better about a very negative thing. Lately, too many issues, says Cristiano. Good they act quickly, good that they listen, but they're losing trust, and this is very dangerous. I think Cristiano might win the award. Shout out to Cristiano Pavia 543 for most succinctly capturing how I feel. Good they acted quickly. I think they did a great job. They clearly listened. I was badgering them in the DMs. I know a lot of people probably were too, and some people made videos. But then the third thing, without a doubt, people are upset and people are losing trust in this game. There's a lot of people that spend tons of money on this game and spending money on a product, or even the free-to-play players spending tons of time, which is a very legitimate resource on this. It feels really bad, you know? So he was at 184, so he was so tight. Or maybe that's not into pity, that's how much he saved. So this is the other thing. So he's saying, this is what he's saying. I'm now at a savings of 184 summons, and he thinks Praetus or Ingrid are coming, probably like a lot of us do, and he's hoping next week or the week after when he decides to summon, he's not going to be one of the people affected. This is going to be a thing. I'm sure all of you guys already realize this, or a lot of you thought about it or are going to think about it when it happens. Imagine the Praetus banner is on Saturday, right? So the Praetus banner is in 5 days. Are you going to summon at reset? Really? I would say anybody that knows about this issue, 10% of people will summon at reset and have such an itchy finger to pull. The vast majority of people are going to wait and make sure that bugs aren't getting reported. That's the situation of the game, right? Let me know in the comments, but I know that will be me if it's a Praetus or Ingrid banner. I think it's going to be a lot of you guys. Are you going to say, oh my God, the banner I want, I'm going to pull my 184 summons like Cristiano? Or are you going to say, I'm going to wait a day or two and see if Fastidious or someone pops up with a video, or if I go on Discord, some player has uncovered a crazy bug and I would have been wasting my summons, you know? That's something you've got to have at the front of your mind now. And Moonton, that's not a healthy way you want your players thinking. Rod makes a nice joke here. If there was a passionate individual with experience in the game and a German GF, I got you. It's true what others are saying. You can't just apologize and expect it to be okay. I think it's true. Andrew says, for this to happen so shortly after the rare summons bug, not even mentioning the divine summoning bug, we need a better apology. Also, as someone who has had an unlucky account for rares, it's super frustrating that are able to give compensation to affected accounts on the ancient summoning bug. So he's saying in this case, they were able to target the 9 affected accounts, whereas in the other case, they just did a blanket universal even comp. I do think that issue was so much went on for so much longer, and it was so much more extensive. Targeted comp would have been really, really, really difficult, if not impossible. I stand by that. But without a doubt, his frustration is entirely heard. And this is something they should anticipate before they give such insanely lucrative, meaty, targeted compensation this time around. I get it. It's like this time it was easy to fix directly and address directly. Last time it wasn't. But you should still be really thoughtful in like the PR of how you make that decision, because I think you did a poor job. Ride as Realms, we got a content creator here, says, I think it's a satisfactory resolution, or it would be if this were the only situation regarding summoning. But that's the thing. And this is happening at the forefront with the backdrop of all the mess that's happened. You know, we had the W Gold thing, then we had the scripted summons, this, that, and the other. I know people love to point the finger at me for the W Gold. I'll take responsibility for helping let it be known, sure. But I won't apologize, and I haven't apologized, and it's not happening because it's just they had a problem with the game, and I was trying to help players, and people were trying to help themselves do well in the game because of problems they created. Time and time again, it's them leaving these holes open, leaving the door open, right? A lot of times negatively. This was the one time positively. So let's continue. Not saying everyone needs comp, because situations between this issue and the last are completely different. I completely agree. However, I think they made a huge mistake by doing targeted recomp or compensation, targeted response. especially after not doing this for the last issue. So kind of saying, hey, people like Andrew are going to feel screwed and feel really bad. Yes, I understand it would have been exponentially more difficult to do it the last time, but I also don't totally believe it was only 9 or 10 accounts. So I do, but it is what it is. But he's right. It's like, you should know not doing targeted last time and doing it this time just because last time was hard and this time was easy is going to leave a bad taste in a certain kind of player's mouth. And you must understand that you got to respect that feeling from them. Ballinger says, I'm happy the issue was resolved quickly. Moonton definitely needs better quality assurance, without a doubt. Adam, excuse me. This is an interesting thing. It prevented me from summoning, disrupting my gameplay approach without providing clarity on the underlying cause. The player community exists to support the game, not to serve as a quality assurance team. What he's saying, I believe, is, hey, I was going to summon this weekend, but then I saw all the posts about the wackiness that was happening, and I chose not to. Yeah, it was only 9 affected accounts, and I don't think it would have been that much more, assuming the 9 is accurate. But part of the reason that number was so low is because Haha posted his video, and I was working behind the scenes, and other content creators are posting, and people are making a lot of noise on Discord and probably submitting a lot of support tickets. So the onus fell on us, and that's part of the reason why people are like, oh, wait, I'm not going to summon. I'm going to wait. You know, I had a post. If we go to my announcements, can I go back? I'm going to lose the poll. I'm going to post the second I heard about saying, hey, guys, hold off. I know Stormy Z made a video. A lot of people were saying that. I would assume giant guild clusters were making announcements. Do not summon. There's a bug, right? Let's continue. We'll do a couple more. Here we go. Compensation is fair. Bad job at quality control. Coming so close to other summoning debacle, what we just had. Basically, every player should be compensated in order to maintain the basis of trust. I think that that's a good place to end. It's kind of just like trust. Some people are like, F you, Moonton. Some people are like, hey, we see you did a good job here, but you're missing the bigger picture. Where I would leave it is, you've got to acknowledge more than just a picture that says apology on it and a very nice targeted comp. You got to do more than that to make players feel like they're being heard and their concerns are being met. Because a lot of people, there's some other comments in there that didn't pop up, but they were like, hey, I think I'm going to quit. That's real. This happens a couple more times, guys. It's a fiasco. It's a fiasco. So I hope you see I'm trying to be constructive, Moonton. I hope the players, you guys see that as well. Let me know what you think in the comments. This video turned out longer than I intended, but I had a lot to say, and I really wanted to drive the point home. Please watch the whole video, devs, and please read through all of these comments. This is legitness. This is not just people saying, wah, I want free stuff. There might be a couple people, I'll be honest, that are saying, wah, I want free stuff. But a lot of people are saying like, wah, but a legitimate wah, I want to keep playing the game and you're making it really hard. A lot of us really love this game. That's why we're going forever with these comments on polls like this and discussions on Discord, because we want you guys to do the right thing and do better. I want the player base, and certainly key portions of the player base, to not feel alienated. So think about it. Hopefully we hear from you guys in a couple days. Thank you guys, the players, so much for watching. I've been Fastidious. Subscribe to the channel. Again, let me know your thoughts and comments. Share it with your mother, especially if she was one of the 9 players screwed over, because that's not a good thing. I really hope one of those was not your mother, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.